Oh. How could I forget that? Howdy, friends. Oh my goodness. I forgot something. Gotta run back in the... Oh, rats. Gotta run back in here for a half a second. Man, I hate it when I forget stuff. Back into the garage we go. Give me just a moment here, folks. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. Ready to roll. So, today's topic. Well, first of all, thank you all for joining me. And really great to see you all again. And we're going to have a discussion here that's probably going to make some people mad, especially some of the mother chapters, because today's discussion is going to be centered around what to do and how to identify when a mother chapter has become or is becoming irrelevant. And it's always a very touchy subject, but I hear about it all the time. So we're going to talk about it and maybe come up with some solutions, or maybe just piss a whole lot of folks off. So I would like to say thank you all for tuning in, those who tune in regularly. And if it's your first time, I'm Black Dragon. I've been a part of my motorcycle club brotherhood for more than 20 years. And I've been fortunate enough to rise to a leadership position within the Black Sabbath Nation. And become a powerful servant of my brothers. And what I want to talk about today is the subject. I hear a lot about this. Believe it or not, whoa, don't get hit. Believe it or not, I have more clubs call me about, or email me, or IM me about this subject than I can even count. So I decided to do a video about it, and I hope everyone can hear me. Let me look and see. Can you guys hear me? This is a new mouthpiece. I'm still working on trying to get one of those groovy mouthpieces that are the radio controlled ones. But in any event, I want to tell you a few things first. One is I appreciate you all watching, and those of you who watch my videos, if you're going from video to video, it definitely helps my channel if you subscribe, and it helps me support my channel if you actually watch the little 30-second commercial. So that actually helps me and helps support the channel. So I appreciate it if you guys do that. If you're going from video to video, every now and then actually stop and watch the full commercial. And that's a good way to help support the cause here. Second of all, my newest book, The President's Bible. That's the one everybody seems to continually ask me to do, so I decided to go ahead and sit down and pin The President's Bible. And for my subscribers, I'm offering that book at $15 as a pre-sale book, meaning if you buy it now, you can get it for $15 with no postage. It'll be $15 without the usual $5 postage and handling fee worldwide. So wherever you are in the world, I'm going to send my book to you for 15 bucks. You can do that by sending your $15 to jbunchii@aol.com. You go to PayPal, go to send money, and then send it to jbunchii@aol.com. Someone asked me if they should gift it to me to avoid the service fee. I really wasn't aware that PayPal has a service fee. So if you want to gift it to me, you know, do your thing. Certainly would appreciate it. And the information on how to do that is on the bottom in the description when I go back and submit this video later tonight. Also, my other books, Prospects Bible for Women's Motorcycle Clubs, the Public Relations Officer's Bible, and the Sergeant at Arms Bible are all available on YouTube. The description will be down there. And for your perusal, and I hope you like the books. We've got even more coming. How to start a motorcycle club, how to write bylaws, the Road Captain's Bible, the Secretary's Bible, the Treasurer's Bible. All of these books are coming. I just got to get them written. So, that being said, into the subject. So, I get these calls all the time about what I call mother chapter misconduct. Where, you know, here we go again, the mother chapter is abusing its power and influence. And a lot of motorcycle clubs have this issue. And it basically comes down to this thing. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And those people that are in power are loath to give it up. No one likes to give up power. So it can happen with the president. It can happen with a road captain. It can happen with a mother chapter. It can happen with a secretary. Anybody that's in office or any motorcycle club chapter that's looked at as higher than the others. Basically, if you're in power, it's really difficult to want to give that power up. Even if you no longer deserve the power or the title. And that's where the rub comes in. So a lot of other chapters they ain't getting it done anymore. They are a hindrance rather than a help. But they want to sit on top of their power illegitimately and make everybody bow down to them because they were the first to don the colors and get everything started. So this is going to be kind of ugly. A lot of people are not going to like this, but we see it, and we should be able to talk about it, address it, and maybe talk about ways to create some change. So only reason people want to make a change in things is when a lot of times when they're not happy with how things are being done, or when things are being done inefficiently or improperly, or people are corrupt or misusing their authority. And when that happens, people want to change. So mother chapters are amazing. They were the first ones to start this, especially if you have any original members of your mother chapter left. They were the first ones to start this and the first ones to get it on and popping. And whatever we have as a history, the mother chapter did it. So are they deserving of respect? Oh, hell yes. Are they deserving of our patience? Oh, hell yes. They should have the utmost respect. They should receive the utmost patience. They should be given the highest honors. They're the mother chapter. They are who we come from. For the most part, they are who we aspire to be. We want to ride like the OGs. We want to be careless and carefree and not have a worry in the world like they did when they were young folks and created this legacy by which we ride. But all too often, the mother chapter falls prey to corruption. They get old. They get tired. They even get mean. There's nothing like old, tired, mean men. They make everything and everybody around them uncomfortable. They complain about everything, and they're really a pain in the ass when they get old and mean. The biggest part is that they stop doing the things that were necessary to get as big as they became. They stopped doing the things that it took to spread the MC. And when they stop being what they used to be, they get angry at us when we notice. And when we start saying, hey man, this is not the way we do things, now the war is on. So it's an interesting dynamic when the mother chapter stops being the mother chapter. When the mother chapter stops being that organization that we knew it was. So there are some ways to tell if your mother chapter is beginning to flail. And these are the things you should look for. First of all, when they stop riding, that's like the biggest indication. The mother chapter is no longer riding. In order to be in a motorcycle club, you got to ride. And when you want to lead the motorcycle club or the motorcycle club nation, you should do it from motorcycle back. You know, you've heard of horseback, you should do it from motorcycle back. And if you're not leading the MC nation from the back of your motorcycle, then what are you telling us? You're telling us that all of the norms, all of the traditions, they're no longer valid to you because you no longer are pushing forward the agenda by which the MC rides. So if you see the motorcycle club mother chapter, when they stop riding, when they no longer find it as important to ride as it is to sit on a bar stool and talk noise, then you pretty much know that your mother chapter is losing relevance and it's going fast downhill. If the mother chapter stops recruiting, you look around and they haven't had a new member in 100 years. And everything new that's coming is coming from other places There's no new membership, no new, and some motorcycle clubs say, well, we don't recruit. Okay, I got that. But when I say recruiting, I don't mean out beating the doors down for members. I mean when they stop bringing in people altogether. When it's like, sometimes you'll hear stuff like, oh, we don't need them. We don't need anybody new. They need us. We don't need them. When they stop being open to bringing new people in the door, you typically got a problem. The mother chapter is no longer pushing forward the agenda, and they no longer have the lead. The other thing is, if the mother chapter refuses to communicate like the rest of the MC is communicating. For instance, if we're all on Facebook or GroupMe or WhatsApp, and this is the way everybody's communicating, you got the mother chapter president sitting around talking about, I don't send text messages. How can you be relevant? If the entire MC is communicating one way, and you're trying to communicate the way we did in 1973, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You're not going to be able to see what's going on. You're not going to be able to see the trends that are happening in the MC. You're not going to be able to know what everybody's talking about. I've seen the argument before. It's the same argument that people used when the horse and carriage was replacing the car. I refuse. Or actually, when the car was replacing the horse and carriage, I refuse to give up my buggy. Well, if you still want to use a buggy today, and we all say we're going to be meeting down in Atlanta in 20 minutes, you ain't going to get there until tomorrow. So you're not relevant. Communication is key in the MC. Not indoctrination, not intimidation, but communication. And if the mother chapter is inefficient in its communications with all the other chapters, then the mother chapter has lost relevance. And it's as simple as that. Whoa. Also, if the mother chapter is bitching and moaning and arguing and complaining more than it's coming up with new solutions, if the mother chapter is got more complaints than it has ideas for what we need to do to go forward in the future, the mother chapter is losing its relevance. Listen, if all you can do is complain about the young folks, believe it or not, sooner or later, the young folks, they're going to be taking over. They are our future. We don't get to do this forever. There will be a time, if you are blessed to live that long, that you won't be able to hold this bike up. You'll be on a three-wheeler, or maybe you won't be able to ride anything at all. You can still be relevant, but not if you're hanging on to that old BS. We have to move as OGs in this game. We have to move we have to adjust our paradigm. We can still lead and we can still teach and others will still follow, but we have to maintain the relevance. We have to adapt and we have to change. Part of the problem is not realizing or remembering the concepts of we over the concepts of me. We is about the good of the brotherhood. Me is about keeping the relevance of your own position so that you can still be great within your own mind. Being great within one's own mind doesn't do anything for the greatness of the MC. When we fall in love with the patches on our chests more than we love the main patch on our back, we fall into the me syndrome. And chapters can do that as well. The mother chapter can get to the point where it only cares about itself and not about the diaspora, the larger diaspora of bikers, brothers in its club, in its chapters across the nation and even across the entire world. That's when you forget that the we is more important than the me. That's when you start saying I, and you stop saying we. Why should the mother chapter be leading if the mother chapter ain't riding? It's not bringing in any new members. It's not putting forward any new agendas. You know, Janet Jackson sang a song, "What Have You Done For Me Lately?" I used to get mad at that song, like, what the hell? I fed you last week. But a mama bird that has a nest full of baby birds cannot fly over to the nest one day and say, I fed you last week. She's got to keep bringing that worm home until they can fly on their own. And then they will repeat the cycle. And the mother chapter has to understand that the smaller chapters will grow up. And if all you can do is complain and argue and fuss and fight and be angry at what the young people are doing, you're not providing any leadership to move forward. And if you're not providing leadership to move forward, what good are you as a mother chapter? You're just wasting time. We look to the mother chapter for guidance and leadership. The other day I was looking on YouTube thinking to myself, gee, whatever happened to Daryl Hall and John Oates? So I went to YouTube to go find some of their old music. In some kind of way, I fell upon Daryl Hall's new YouTube channel. And I was absolutely amazed at what I saw. The OG has not disappeared, but rather he has adapted and changed. If you go on the YouTube page Live at Daryl's House, good old Daryl Hall is making music with all of the famous music makers in the world. He has them come over to his house and they sing his songs. And he sings their songs. And you get to hear him sing as a backup singer. He doesn't have to be the first seat in the orchestra. He can be the last seat. It doesn't bother him. He doesn't have to play the lead guitar. He can play the backup guitar. It doesn't bother him. He doesn't even lead his own songs. He's got CeeLo singing his songs and Lionel Richie and everybody, just everybody. And he has redeveloped himself, same great voice, and it's just amazing to hear CeeLo sing a couple of his songs, the whole new take on them. Or he's singing with, I mean, it doesn't matter, blues, country, rhythm, rock. He's playing with everybody. He has redeveloped himself, adapted, and become the true artist that he wanted to be. When I think about my time in the military, we might have a mission. At Old Dark 30, we're gonna attack the enemy. But they start moving before then. And now the mission has to change. They won't be at that spot at Old Dark 30 anymore. They just started moving. So you gotta move, you gotta change, you gotta adapt. The mother chapter must realize this. It's important to adapt and change and become bigger and greater. You can influence, but maybe a different way. Maybe you don't get to sing the lead vocals anymore, but they're still singing your song. mother chapter must understand, when you elect a national president and a national board, the dream changes. Let me explain. I once made a movie with director Reggie Rock Bythewood called Biker Boys. Now, when we made this movie, it's a really cool movie, and when we made this movie, I was a writer. You guys know I write books. And I was telling the director, Reggie, I was saying, hey man, I really don't know how do you write a movie? How do you make that happen? And he said, well, it's very easy. When you write a book, you're in charge of everything. Character development, the plot line, you tell the whole story, everything within your own experience. It's all yours. But when you write a movie, it's different. You have employed people, given them a job, hired them to help you tell your story. These people's job it is to learn what it's like to be a plumber so that they can play and portray a plumber. Even the sound guys. So I was working on the movie Biker Boys. The sound guys were off trying to figure out how do we get the best sound possible so the movie sounds realistic. The director had nothing to do with that. The writer had nothing to do with that. The sound guys were off in the corner trying to figure out how to present the best sound. The makeup people were trying to tell the story with the makeup. Everybody was invested in the story. When you become a national organization, it's not just the mother chapter story anymore. It's all of our story. Every chapter that belongs down to the story. Each and every member, each and every chapter, adding to the collective, being part of the great narrative, adding to the historical contributions, touching parts of the tradition, making it an inclusive dream, not a story told by one, but a story told by all. All deserve recognition. All deserve a piece of the pie. All deserve to tell their part of the story. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. Like a movie told by a cast, not like a book told by an author. Mother chapter, you become a movie director. You transcend, you grow from author to director, producer, filmmaker. Your story becomes the brilliant interaction of hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands across a nation or continents or indeed the entire world. And we all deserve to tell a piece of that story. How we did it in Texas, how we did it in Florida, what we did in Georgia, how we affected it in California, what we did in Europe, how we handled things in Africa, as part of the whole entire Black Sabbath nation, or any nation in which you belong. That is the beauty of the collective story. So, when you have elected a national president and a national board, you give up being the one to tell the entire story, and you must now share the story with all the chapters, share the rule making with all the chapters, share the benefits with all the chapters, share it all with all of us. That's part of. So, you have to ride, you have to communicate, You have to accept change. You have to adapt and understand that we are now all part of the collective. We are now all one. We are now as part of and as invested in the dream as you ever were. When you're new to the Mother chapter, this one always cracks me up. Some guy that's been in the Black Sabbath for 6 months, but he joined the Mother chapter, goes and talks to another member who's been in 7 years about something having to do with why the Mother chapter should be respected. Hold up, G. You haven't even been in the club 6 months. What the hell are you talking about? I wouldn't care if you were part of the Mother chapter or Christ's 7 disciples. Get the hell out of here. If you're not part of the original folks who put it together and you're new to this quote-unquote Mother chapter, sit down and be quiet. Learn something. You don't even know as much about the Black Sabbath experience or whatever your motorcycle club's name is, as much as the prospects that have been around in some of the other chapters longer than you've been a member. Don't ride on the backs of your brothers or your forefathers' work. Ride on the backs of the work you have performed. That's a real brother. Don't talk about what was done in the past. You weren't there to do anything. When grown folks are talking, shut up. Listen and learn. Become part of the contribution and less of the problem. Man, I hate this stop and go traffic. Holy moly. So, I was gonna say one more thing. I've kind of forgot what it is. So, Mother chapter, don't be afraid. I remember I was given, all my Black Sabbath just got off of a nationwide ride. They were all riding across the country, trying to get there. You know, we've got these badges you can get. We call them nomad badges. Like 1,500 miles in 24 hours, 10,000 miles in less than 10 days. They're all trying to go. We got the Gates of Hell patch for riding across 5 states in temperatures greater than 105 degrees. So these guys are out almost dying, killing themselves to get these great patches that we have. Poseidon's patch, Poseidon's Disciples patch, riding across 5 states of torrential rain. All my guys got that this week. I remember I had guys crying to me for the last year. How am I gonna get my rain patch? It never rains like that. I said, son, one day it's gonna rain across 5 states. And then you'll be able to get that patch. It's gonna blow your mind when it happens. I had my brothers coming back from that ride screaming, if I never have to get that freaking patch again, I don't want a star on that patch. So naturally I was giving them hell. You guys don't know how to ride. You know, all the hell I give them. And one of the guys said, I woke up this morning and asked myself, Self, why does Dragon continually bust our ass and give us a hard time? And then I answered myself, because he can no longer hold his great accomplishments on a motorcycle over our heads anymore. We are now doing the same things he's done. Now, to some people, that causes fear. It means I'm getting old, and they're catching up. and even passing me. I used to be able to say I was the hardest rider in the Black Sabbath nation. I used to outride these youngsters. I used to laugh at them when they had to pull over and sleep, or their bladders were too full and they couldn't go another mile. I would just ride, just to ride them in the ground. Doesn't happen anymore. They used to ride behind me through the mountains. I would leave their asses dusted in my tracks as I would scrape my pegs through the mountains. I used to be able to talk on the phone and make YouTube videos. They used to wonder, how does he do that and ride? Now all of them are cinematic movie makers. Last long distance trip I went on, I didn't even turn on my camera. They all had it. To some people, that invokes fear. That evokes fear. That means I'm getting old. My time is lapsing. I'm no longer relevant. They're outriding me. Tomorrow I won't be the leader anymore. You were destined not to be the leader when you became the leader. Just like you were destined to die when you were born. But you can still be relevant. Mother chapter, if you find yourself slipping out of relevance, do not attempt to lead with fear and intimidation. Stop trying to rig the damned election. Stop changing the bylaws as we go. Stop running to the courthouse to all of a sudden put the colors in your name. Stop it. This is us, we, ours. You asked us to participate. Don't be upset now that we are. Hold us up in our glory. Praise us. Lead us. Teach us. If you can't ride anymore, damn it, show up when the ride is leaving and sit there on your bike and give us the thumbs up as we go. Meet us someplace on the road coming back and ride back with us. How you doing, brother? Ride with us and go as far as you can, and then wish us good luck on our way. Be a part of us. Don't fear us. We want to be like you. We want to be what you were. Continue to give us your wisdom and your guidance. Don't fear or hate us. Understand us. We are the wild kids you used to be. We are the leaders you once were. And we just want to follow in your legacy. Show us how to lead. Teach us the better way. Show us how to be strong. If we won't listen, tell us another time, and another time, and another time, until you're blue in the face. Just keep telling us. One day it'll sink in. He used to tell me, the Father, stop saying I and start saying we. Stop saying me and start saying ours. Stop saying I and start saying we. Learn to speak a little French. And eventually, almost 20 years later, it took root. These are the things that the mother chapter should do. You might not be able to lead us in technology, but think of the Bible. Even when we go to the moon, completely different than anything that ever happened on earth when the Bible was written, we'll still be able to use that same Bible. Even when we're teleporting between time, even when we've learned how to live forever and never die, the Bible will always still be good, because the nature of human beings does not change. Treat others right. Don't steal. Don't kill. Don't screw your best friend's woman. Just the basic stuff. It doesn't change. The basic traditions of motorcycle riding never changes. And we need you. We need you to lead us. adapt and change and overcome and teach us how to maneuver throughout the MC world. Not through intimidation and fear and election rigging and holding on to a patch longer than you should and come to a meeting once every 7 months, but when you come, you want to dominate everything and tell everybody what to do. Cut it out! That's not brotherhood. That's that BS. We are a mighty motorcycle club nation. Act like it. You're the mother chapter. Get on the same communication networks. Learn how to use them. It's not rocket science. We'll teach you. Ride your motorcycles. If you can't ride, show up where we're riding and participate. Drive the change vehicle. Show us by example of leadership, not by running your mouth at the table, at the bar, drunk about what you used to do. In the Navy, they used to say, you're only as good as your last shit. What have you done for me lately? What have you done for the MC lately, Mother Chapter? Are we carrying your load out here? Because if we are, turn it around. Show us why you are the OGs. Be relevant enough to stand aside and push your other brothers and sisters forward. Be relevant enough to let other chapters participate in the decision making. Be relevant enough to share. Share the legacy. Share the greatness. Share it with the back patch. Mother chapter only means that's where we started. Nothing else. It's the MC nation. Nobody is special. We are all equal. We are all as one, together as one. No chapter is greater. No individual is greater. No one is bigger than the back patch. The colors represent us all. And not just one of us. Not just one chapter. That's greedy. That's stingy. That's self-serving. And in the MC world, it has no place. And we're going to call you out on it. We're going to tell you, yes, you're the founder, but you're a founding brother, a founding member. The founding father is the oldest brother. That's it. We call him father because of his leadership, leading by example, and teaching us the way we should go. But not because we think he is any greater than any of us. And he would not have that so, nor would I. Never speak of my greatness. Speak of the greatness of the mighty Black Sabbath Motorcycle Club Nation, and you will have given me the greatest honor. I live to serve my brothers. And I do it as best I can. Thank you for watching. I certainly appreciate you all. I hope this made sense. Didn't make too many folks angry. We're just trying to keep hope alive out here. That's all we have. 44 minutes. Holy moly. I must have been just rambling. Listen, I'll be in Chicago all this week. I'll be in Chicago tomorrow, Tuesday. And I'll be in Chicago this week. So, any of my Chicago folks out there, if you want me to sign your book or whatever, let me know and I will try my best to get to you. And love you all. And I start my workouts back Friday. I'll be back on my workouts real hard. So, you know, for me, it's like a on and off thing. But when I'm on, I'm on. So we'll be getting skinny again. All right. Love you all. Take care and get skinny.